Asherlo. Grant. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're well. Welcome back to our now weekly look in our. I should have mentioned this last week in our program. What's in on the box?
It's me. I'm Kevin. I'm
What's in the box
buddy.
is all about watching TV shows with myself, Daniel, and my buddy Kevin. Say hello, Kevin. Yes. And
episode 2.
We're going to continue our watch of.
You never know. They could bring She-Hulk too. This
Episode
time
2.
she's more
Not
green.
some sequel to the character.
Yes, She-Hulk and the Abomination.
Yeah, or like She-Hulk.
Yeah.
The
so anyway, in this episode.
Yes, that's a wild idea, isn't it?
I think it's good. Like, I don't think we need much preamble. We talked a lot.
Yeah,
last
should
episode.
we
I don't think
into
there's
this?
much preamble necessary for this.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Right. So last week we ended it off with Titania, jumping into the court, attacking She-Hulk. Well, not attacking She-Hulk, just jumping into the court, and She-Hulk fighting her. And then there was a big kerfuffle. And we don't see her really at all in this episode. We see like a quick camera following her. We see a little
we see a few
news
courtroom
tagline at the
sketches
bottom
as well.
going, her manager blames it on low sugar. Yeah. And the same courtroom sketches we see at the end of the episodes. Here's an interesting thing. Some of the courtroom picks from last
So do you
week
think that those courtroom sketches are going to keep coming up as like actually the plot?
Like her eating with her family and stuff?
I'm now that you've said it, I'm just thinking, I probably should have looked
makes
at
me
those.
really annoying that I didn't pay attention to this week's
I
ones.
actually skipped them this week for
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we won't skip him next week. But yes, so it goes very quickly into her just leaving the court. There's news about her everywhere. She's
that was well established in the first episode.
What about
she doesn't want to be a superhero. She doesn't want to be known for having these powers. She just wants to be an attorney. But she had to defend a bunch of people, and her powers were outed. And because of that, she's now famous, like it or not.
Yeah. And the court case she was fighting and she was proud of basically got cancelled. Because
I kind of like that.
She
That's
saved
like
the jury,
very
felt,
good
not making
reasoning.
that impartial anymore.
It's quite grounded, and I completely understand it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wanted a superhero
grounded
courtroom
in a way,
drama,
isn't it?
and this show is giving me that now. She saves them, and the court throws out the case at the request of the opposing counsel, and because of that, her boss visits her in a bar.
Yeah. Interesting thing about the bar quickly. Just for people who've been paying attention, QR codes pop up in this show in the background or on a computer and all kind of stuff, and they usually lead to free comics on She-Hulk. So if you keep an eye out and use a quick QR code scanner, you go there. The reason I'm saying that is because there is one in this episode.
That's actually, I didn't know about that, but I did hear they did that with Moon Knight. There was a QR code. There's a QR code in one of the episodes, and my immediate thought was that QR code probably leads to a Moon Knight comic. And It went. The one I knew about actually went to. I think it was a Werewolf by Night comic, which Moon Knight appeared in. But it was one of the earlier appearances of Moon Knight, if not the earliest.
Yeah. that lawyer dude in the bar shows up again, the one who was in her previous. Basically, he's saying shit like, "How do you get these powers to get such a high profile?"
Talk to it.
He was literally just went like, and then he says the weirdest thing. Says, "Hey, there's a hot girl over there. When
they made that joke, I'm like, oh like, god, we're not gonna go down this line of jokes. I mean, are we?
What's going on?
As someone who has watched hold on, maybe some bad movies just sure that he's completely, like, do that, yes, that is what it is.
Is that it?
I recently subjected myself to the 2016 Ghostbusters, and let me tell you, really most of the men are written like that.
Yeah. How is it? You should watch nice. Just for anyone. Just watch the newer Ghostbusters movie. That was quite fun, and it's getting a sequel, I believe.
Yeah,
which is nice. Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, you were saying her boss from her law firm stops her. I really like the scene. That scene, by the way, when they're sitting down and she was drinking as the She-Hulk, and as she turns back into a human form, she gets pissed almost instantly.
Oh, I didn't even.
But what I really like about it is that there's a green light from the bar. Yeah. Which makes half her face green throughout it. I like that. And also, like, this is like a direct thing from, like, the comics. Like, the law firm lawyer looks exactly like the actor.
Are you saying that some man in Marvel has a machine that can print people from comic book pages
themselves? Like, he ripped himself out of it.
Not always successfully. Sometimes they come out a bit awkward because of the way the panel is drawn.
So. Not always successfully.
Anyway,
but
so yeah, the boss comes in to talk to her, and there's like she's in She-Hulk form because she's like, her friend was like, "Come on, live up a little bit," and he like comes up to her and he's like, "Can you turn back to normal? We're having a serious discussion here." And it's like, ooh, that felt awkward. And she does. She immediately turns down, gets pissed drunk, and he's basically delivering the news that they can't have her as a lawyer anymore because she's too high profile. Yeah, and once again, I completely believe
this. Make a joke out of the law firm in case she did anything. Yeah. Yeah. It's like they took actual law firms from the real world.
Yeah, and like what follows this is a montage of her
you don't have to
trying
like
to get jobs at different law firms.
Okay.
And all of them are basically saying, we don't want to become a circus freak show. We don't want a superhero here. You're too big. You'll attract too much attention, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here's an interesting one, though. It's just a subtle thing.
I noticed that one.
The law firms, the backgrounds become less and less fancy as her like, as her standards are like drop, and it just ends up being like something that looks like it's been.
I mean, maybe she kept looking.
I kind of wondered if they were going to do the Daredevil thing at that stage. Maybe he'd be like the last law firm. Honestly, or something,
a joke they could have done.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do it. Because it probably would have been too much, but it would have been a little bit funny if they referenced Baskin Robbins again after Ant-Man. With that, Baskin Robbins always finds out shit, but yeah.
But yeah, if we go on, and she's kind of depressed, and her entire apartment is full of empty wine bottles because she can get drunk. She doesn't get drunk as the She-Hulk, and she's with her friend, and she's depressed, and she's looking at basically like joke jobs at this stage, just like start her new career, and like one is like a mascot or something like that. However, there's some interesting stuff on that website if you magnify. So I'll take the less interesting one first.
Is that the Eternals?
Why is there a giant statue of a man sticking out of the ocean?
Namor is taking up. He's getting a bit fancy. It's the
Eternals, yeah. I mean, unless there's some other subplot that I'm not aware of. Yeah, and The other one.
Yes.
Oh, a man with metal claws fought in a bar.
You know what?
Yeah. So I mean, again, this could be Mephisto sort of thing where it's there, and then they might just edit it out another time
for the MCU, baby. No, Wolverine. Wolverine, come on.
Yeah, that's
we've had some tangential stuff.
This is,
like,
I think this is the first
where he likes to go. This is the name of his
Wolverine
favorite bar
in the MCU.
This is just outright saying, hey, there's a guy who's Wolverine in here, you know. Mm-hmm. Spoilers for Miss Marvel, by the way.
Yeah, and if we watch Miss Marvel, like, we know the mutants are coming, you know.
It completely affects it. I remember when Professor X was like, "Hello, Miss Marvel."
Doesn't affect the plot whatsoever.
Why? Because I'm lying?
Oh God, you can't say Professor X was in it. Anyway,
perhaps maybe I'm just trying to hide the fact that actually
lying. Or are you
Galactus is in it?
Who knows?
I'm going to be honest. The only reason I said Galactus is because in a Reddit AMA, someone asked the actress what other character she'd like to play in the MCU other than Miss Marvel. She said Galactus. Yeah. Honestly,
that's respectable.
That.
You know, like she has fucking goals, doesn't she?
I'd love that. I wish I could be as confident as her.
Yeah. That confidence as well. You're just like, yeah, Galactus. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's great as well. I loved her in Miss Marvel. Honestly, it was like a younger actress and just so much confidence and humor. She's brilliant. I'm looking forward to seeing what she does in the future. But moving away from that for a second, so she gets a call from Brucey. Before she answers the phone call to Bruce, her cousin.
Hey,
there's a picture of Captain America's
at least
ass
it's character
on her
continuity
on her phone. That's like and that is America's ass.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You never know.
I think she wanted to.
Bruce can point her to a retirement home.
Cherry at this stage. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And to be fair, anyone who could at the moment have, intercourse with She-Hulk, I was going to say She-Ra, She-Hulk would be Captain America, I guess, if he was still about, like, because, he has superhero serum. Like, isn't that, like, originally the Hulk's serum radiation stuff came from trying to duplicate the super soldier serum as well from Captain America. Like, everything we've seen really on Earth that comes from, like, people turn into monsters or something going terribly wrong by science, it usually ends up being like,
you could make a dictionary full of characters where if you look them up online, their backstory was in an attempt to recreate the Captain America super soldier serum, things went wrong, and he now has a boar for a face.
Yeah. So she's talking to her cousin, and he's just like, "Yeah, I heard. How are you doing?" And he kind of says it's a little funny what happened.
No,
and
he
doesn't really like the big thing.
He doesn't actually talk. Like they don't really talk at that point in the episode. He just leaves a message on the answering machine.
But he says, "Oh, are you go on?"
No, they do it later in the episode. I know, but not at that beginning point. No, she just gets a message, and it's later on.
Do they not?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I think we can talk about that later scene then, because and I don't think it matters where it happens.
Los Angeles, I think she said.
But she's talking to her cousin, and at the end she's like, "Hey, are you going to be wherever they live?"
Yeah,
Los Angeles, yeah.
The Sakaran spaceship.
Not right now. And he's on a spaceship that basically scared him off the road. And and like people say,
I'm not sure if this means World War Hulk, because World War Hulk was started because he was forcefully pushed off the planet. This seems more like a carpool.
Yeah. Yeah, but like to be fair, we've had he was not forcefully moved off planet, but like kind of we had the MCU version of what happened where he gets sent off to a planet and had to fight as a gladiator, and where did the stone dude. We've had that storyline in a way. Obviously, there's more to come. Like Scar could show up and all this kind of stuff, and potential wife. Something like we were talking about last week.
I'd be willing to see that.
Have impregnated someone. Maybe
not the
impregnation. Scar actually comes around. Maybe
but
Scar's alive.
Yeah, because of the timeline thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Scar can actually be an adult at this stage.
Yeah,
because.
Yeah,
the time
Hulk
thing.
sperm
and also
real
you could
strong,
just
grow
bullshit, like
fast.
say, no, genetics, radiation, Hulk, brr. Yeah, I mean, look, that's literally
correct.
all they
I
could
don't know
just
enough
say
about
that.
Hulk sperm to question it.
Oh yeah, that sounds like MCU. Yeah,
I'm really interested to see what this reminds you of, for sure.
It reminds me of the time I was at a friend's house and we weren't talking about Hulk sperm, but we were talking, and we were watching like the Star Trek 2009 movie, the new one, and I was sitting with like a Star Trek friend, friend, and we were like, I was friends with his sister as well, and she had a friend there too, and we were watching, the Enterprise being built on planet, right, in Earth's atmosphere, and we both went, wait a second, the Enterprise can't do that. It can't be like within atmosphere usually like this. That's like, it would just not work because it's been explained in the show. And our friend later told us that her friend, as she was leaving, said, oh no, it's actually possible and she should know, she's an engineer. And the guy said,
well, you know what,
engineer
Dan,
any fucking starships lately?
Confirmed for me that there was absolutely no sperm involved in that story at all.
Yeah,
that's a real big lie, because Kirk
if it's
comes
about Star Trek,
it's
lot. Nothing to do with sperm.
Anyway.
No, that's a lie. That's a real big lie. Anyway. Oh, poor Kirk. Anyway, so she eventually goes off to her family to have a meal. Did you think that, could the annoying couple with the loser cousin potentially like be Bruce's, parents? I know, like, in whichever continuity the previous Hulk movie in is, the father was a dickhead and not cool.
Our version of the Hulk has literally never talked about his home life.
I don't know. It's been a long
like,
time since I watched this.
Absence of an explanation, I think we are meant to assume that the comic backstory is accurate.
Yeah.
Because we did meet him on the run. At least to an extent, we know that he got hit by gamma rays and turned into a big green monster. We don't necessarily have to say his dad was the abusive asshole.
Yeah.
That said, I think if these guys were the Banners, I think they would probably say it.
No. Yeah. I was just wondering, like, are they related to Banner's parents, or is it the other side of the family? I just wondered. They seem pretty down with the idea of like she being She-Hulk. Like, they ask a few questions and they say, "Oh, like I can do marketing for you,"
it's like the dad said. This
overall,
family has handled
they're pretty relaxed.
Before.
Like, oh, this is just part of the family thing, with Bruce.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Like, to be fair, they sound like the most supportive parents, if you think about it, because they're really supportive of their, like, loser. Not actually well, he's portrayed as a loser, as it normally is in TV shows.
Yeah.
Because he got a manager position in a Best Buy, I think. Something like that. And they're really supportive and happy about it. And if you think about it, like, if they were his Bruce's parents, he's like the smartest person on the planet, who has multiple doctorates, who has saved the world, who has pictures of himself up in every science classroom in the country. and they're still like they look at the other son. It's like he's great.
No,
too.
honestly, my biggest takeaway from that dinner scene,
to be honest,
when
aside,
like she sat down with everyone, was like, well, she doesn't look like anyone at this table. that was that. Yeah, that took me completely out of it. I'm like, who the fuck here is she related to?
No, especially her parents.
I could see him sitting there and it working a little bit like, yeah, like you're related to these people, but her like specifically as the daughter to two of them is like, really, it's a bit like I don't think it's gonna be that big a deal going forward. I don't imagine of She-Hulk's parents being these characters that we see a lot of.
No. Yeah. Look, the biggest thing we get away from all this is that her dad is very supportive of her because he kind of takes her out halfway through the chat, sees how she is. So like he's always supportive of whatever she does, and that he will make her do jobs around the house now that she has super strength. You know, like I mean, it is pretty fair. But I think we can skip past the family, but there wasn't anything like mind blowing there. It's just like, her family's behind her. She's all right. You know? She's eventually back in the bar.
Is that actually his name?
And
okay, that sounds like you have a hat full of lawyer
Holden
names
Holloway
reached in.
Yes, it is. I was. Here's the thing, right? Obviously, being on IMDb, I always mix up which is the character's name and which is the actress name, right? So, but I saw the alliteration, went, no, it's the Holden Holloway. I just saw the alliteration. And, no, that's about right. But he comes in.
Yeah.
Apparently, in the original comic, the boss fires her at her office, and then she goes to the bar and gets drunk at the bar, and then kind of like takes the job instantly from him and vomits on him as she collapses to the ground. So she's not at the best moment. Apparently, that's a big thing about her as well. In the comics.
Mean, like
she's a big party animal. She drinks a lot.
I think she's drunk more on screen than even.
Thing,
maybe not Tony at this point, but she's getting there. She's close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just realized something. Obviously, the super soldier serum works to an extent because Captain America
could get drunk. He just needed Asgardian.
And the Hulks can't get
fucking
drunk.
liquor
so
to do it.
The metabolism is working.
Yeah. You need Thor around for it to be a real party. I guess not anymore. Asgard's on Earth. Depends on if they make Asgardian ale. Yeah?
He has a question. He has a big question.
I don't. Here's the thing. Here's the question.
An angry drunk.
Think about it now. Actually, no. I'm thinking of Bruce. Would Hulk be an angry drunk? No, I think he'd be a very sad drunk. Yeah.
The reason okay. So classic Hulk, when he gets angry, he turns into Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Right. The angrier he gets, the more his metabolism isn't working, surely, because he gets stronger and stronger, right? That means he stops getting drunk.
Yeah.
So if he turned into an angry drunk, he'd actually.
If he is an angry drunk, then it's a terrible situation for him.
Because the angry he gets, the less drunk
depending on how much he wants to drink, I guess. But I personally, I see him.
Yeah. Okay.
Personally,
hey folks, tell us, is the Hulk an angry drunk?
Starts confessing shit to people. It's like, I always loved you, Matt. You're the best friend I've Hulk got. And then he passes out. No one finds out that story ends.
But yeah,
yeah.
So she eventually accepts the job.
Yeah. So there's a little bit.
This is when Bruce calls
so she accepts the job.
Just like,
oh
no,
what she
Bruce
says
calls her after.
No, she accepts the job, but then she goes into the office and she gets given the stipulation.
Says, I'll think about it.
And then you have to be She-Hulk while you're on the clock. She doesn't get told this right away, but then she's given the stipulation. She's then given the stipulation: your first case, or else you're fired.
Yeah, but this is when she says she's not
getting
sure
parole
about it.
for Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination, aka the guy who tried to kill your cousin. And she's like, "Can I think about it?"
Yeah.
So
yes,
yeah, so
you
she
can think about it,
goes
but you don't have a job here if you don't decide. And there's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a fun thing.
Yeah.
You know the laser grid thing?
Okay.
You know
what's
how
the reason?
She stopped and was terrified? There's a reason for that. Do you want to know the reason? In the previous episode, Bruce destroyed her blood with the same red lasers. Hey, and Kevin, now just to really blow your mind, when we go inside, and the Abomination
red laser
is sitting in the cell, and she crosses that yellow line.
Damn!
What comes up from the ground?
Those
lasers kill Hulks.
You can't keep blowing my mind, but go ahead.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Do you want to know? Have your mind really
We've
blown?
Seen that? Holy shit! Was that from Avengers 1?
We've seen that cell before.
Was that the Hulk proof cell? No. Okay, so the raft cell then.
No. Nice idea. Okay, nice idea. No, it's more recent. No, it's no. It was in Shang-Chi.
Oh, we saw it in there.
And Wong.
It's in the background. Oh my god!
And let him go through. You see it in the background.
You're want to rewatch Shang-Chi now.
It's in the background. It's so cool. Oh.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. I like the movie.
I'm going to rewatch it.
I think it's like a cool sort of martial arts slash superhero movie.
So I do want to bring attention to one thing about this prison. Why the fuck it look like that? Is MC Escher designing prisons in the MCU?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've had had like two, technically, if you count the Miss Marvel one. Unless the Miss Marvel one is supposed to be this one, but I don't think so, because the other side's the fucking... USA.
Yeah, but...
the raft in the middle of the ocean.
But, you know, the one where the Avengers were, like, some of the Avengers were locked up after Civil War. You know? The raft.
But here's the thing, I'm almost certain.
No, we don't actually keep the heroes
I might be wrong, and I'm often wrong about things. But I think I heard someone say that Abomination was supposed to be on the raft. Oh, because it would be closer. Yeah.
Maybe he was. Maybe
I mean,
now
I don't think he'd be allowed to attend the hearing, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they'll probably video chat him in because he
has to.
The Abomination.
I mean, I think that's actually like a citizen right.
Maybe. That sounds less likely because they'd have to get.
Or maybe they'll have a court case like jurors in the room that he's
into so many jurors into the prison. Well, but this is for deciding his parole.
Not always. Jurors aren't always needed for all court cases, so I think they're
okay. I could.
But
you know for a fact there's going to be jurors in this
parole boards are in charge of parole, not
court case.
Yeah.
No, it's not. His name. Oh god, it was Dimitri. Literally in my head.
That's his name, isn't it?
Emil Blonsky.
What's his name? You said it and everything. Emil Blonsky. His backstory changed a bit. He used to be, I think, half Croatian and half something else, but they changed it now to his backstory being born in Russia, raised in England.
Really did. He's so British.
They really did a Mandarin job on him, didn't they?
Yeah. I'm turned over a new leaf.
Yeah, and like sweet and like, oh, hello everyone. It's just like, wow.
until you said it, I didn't
he's
realize
like writing
how
little
similar he
sonnets
is
to
to the
people
Mandarin.
he's
He's even going like,
wronged, and
"Namaste."
like, you know,
You know?
it's yeah, like, and like he also seems to like have a harem, which gives
Forever.
me in the vibe of the Mandarin, because what was the Mandarin's real name in the
Yeah.
end? Trevor, like, because he was kind of being treated like in the lap of luxury as well. You know, so like I just saw that
the
they're
fucking
really doing a
British
Trevor
person
on
in the
this.
MCU
Is
is
this
a
just what
criminal.
all English
Sorry,
people are
Peggy.
in this like
But
universe?
it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
No, you're either
sorry,
Peggy
Trevor
Carter
was
or you're like
imprisoned
a
in
bumbling English fellow who's been
Shang-Chi.
in prison. You know?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not legally, mind. So, you know.
They did.
But he was in prison on the United States.
Yeah,
They
it
had
was a
that like
setup
mini
for
episode,
Shang-Chi
didn't
that
they?
wasn't
Where
actually
they
a setup for
interview him.
Shang-Chi,
That's
but
actually a
worked to set up
Mandarin. Blah blah
Shang-Chi.
blah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to say, Tim Roth. Like this is a very different sort of character, I think, than originally. But Tim Roth can do comedy really well. And we know he can do serious, like monstrous
Tim Roth, honestly. I haven't
as well,
seen him in enough things.
because we've seen it as the
but
Abomination.
every time I've watched a
act.
performance from him, I've always been like completely enamored by his performances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really comes out in this, like, and
like a little poem.
And, like, we find out later when Bruce talks to him that like he sent Bruce like a little sonnet, a little poem, and he's written one for the board as well, like. And she's like, okay, that's nice, but maybe just tell the truth from your heart. Because I think the thing that convinces her is like, look, the government made me this. I wanted to be a hero like Captain America. And I love that now that Captain America is like, obviously the at that stage, I'm seeing Tim Roth saying that as when he was a soldier, he wanted to be like Captain America. Because now in the mythology, retroactively, Captain America did exist in that as a World War II thing, and he's a soldier, and he wanted to be like Captain America, and he wanted to do the right thing, but then the government turned him into this monster, and all he wants to do is help. I'm not sure how genuine it is. Like, obviously, there's room.
Yeah, I'm honestly hoping that this is
actually
genuinely him being like, I don't want to, because you know what? I want to see him in the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, and a big talk about that is that he might do that for the parole board, like that.
Yeah,
he'll actually okay,
I'd
can
love that, because I genuinely
but you got to do some work for the American
not only
government.
would I love to see Tim Roth in more stuff,
but
I don't want him to turn around and be this fucking bad guy that she has to fight. Because one, I don't want the bad guy to be a muscle fight. I want it to be something else. And two, I think I know who I want the villain to be, but it's not going to be them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's very obvious if they went down this route as well.
No,
like,
I mean,
Abomination's actually evil. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
like here's the thing: you can't get away from the fact that he did destroy.
Like, give me a little bit of a rough edge.
Detroit, or something? Harlem. He destroyed Harlem. Sorry. Yeah, no, the Hulk destroyed the other half. They met in the middle.
To be fair, so did the Hulk.
Technically that was Tony throwing him through the skyscraper.
And he destroyed like a few skyscrapers in Africa somewhere, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but because he had to stop the Hulk from going crazy. That
worked out well for Tony.
I think that still counts as the Hulk, because even the news blamed the Hulk. Yeah. Just to go back really quickly, when they're actually in the law firm, just before he gets tells her, like, yes, present.
I noticed that immediately. Yeah.
She goes past a room and there's a guy standing in front
Is
of the room.
it?
And
There's a guy who
shelf
has a
of
bunch of
comic
Marvel
books
comics, and
behind it.
everyone's like, "What are those?"
Yeah, that's actually from the comics as well. Yeah. No, this is this is the cool shit. In the comics, it's from the superheroes of the
that's
Marvel
so good.
universe.
That's so
and it's
good.
how they make money, and the law firm looks after those assets. So they like writes things.
Yeah.
You know.
Honestly,
like
this series
I'm going to start reading
anything
She-Hulk, to be
for
honest.
me so far.
It's
It's
just
made me
sounding
want to
cool,
look
doesn't
into
it?
She-Hulk as a character a bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I've seen a lot of people give out, this is not like the comics and all that. And you know what? It probably isn't. But like, to be fair, when is it ever with the MCU? The MCU kind of like takes the spirit
and like
of the
that's
show
just in the nature.
and
Also,
of
like
comic, and then
it's
just
a
says,
different
okay, we're
medium.
going to do our
Things are
own
going to
thing
get
with it.
adapted
That's
in a
pretty much what
different
the
way
MCU
to fit
does.
it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here,
very distracting one, but I'll let you go. Yeah.
So she has one of her meta self-talks again, right? In the law firm. Yeah. Here's the thing. Hulk has, Bruce has alternatives in his head. What if who she's talking to? I know she's talking to us, viewer, but what if she's actually talking to another personality of herself that whole time? That's how she regulates her still being her. Rather than the other personality take over the body.
That's an interesting theory, but I would doubt if they'd ever
to herself separately. If that makes sense.
That's your chosen reality.
No, they won't, but it's what I'm going to believe for a moment anyway. Yeah. But yeah, so they have the talk, and she eventually goes, okay, yeah, I'll defend him, and she calls Bruce, and Bruce is like, yeah, no, absolutely, we're cool. Like, look, everyone's allowed to change, and, a lot of shit has happened with me as well, like, let bygones be bygones. And she's like, oh, okay, cool, whatever.
She takes on the job, and her boss says, you might want to look at the news. And she says, okay, sir.
And then what happens?
She hangs up, she turns on the news, and it's a clip from Shang-Chi, and the news report is saying footage has surfaced of the Abomination reportedly breaking out of prison to participate in underground fight rings. Yep.
Here's a question, though, right? Now, at the end of Shang-Chi, and in Shang-Chi, we see him being brought back into a cell. Do you think that is old footage? Or do you think
it's hard to say
roughly
right now.
The same time as
I
Shang-Chi?
Personally, the way I interpret it is that this is live. Well, not live, but it's relatively recent. Because it says footage just surfaced. Like, if it was months ago, this footage would have surfaced fucking ages ago,
Maybe, to be fair, it's like a black market underground fight scene. So, not necessarily. Like, I mean, honestly, what could have happened is that once, like, the place lost control, like, because Shang-Chi's father and all that,
true, but that also makes it quite close in time frame.
People got brave and started showing things from it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's probably like a month or two related, but I think when they say surface, of course, the word is very subjective, but it feels like it may have taken
that said,
time to get there.
Abomination has been attending
years,
that fight club for a while, in my opinion.
Maybe
just like Wong has
weeks or something. Yeah, but but we'll find out next week now, because if they say, "Oh, he's returned into the prison," because here's the thing, she's taken on the case. They've never once mentioned. Yeah, he also breaks out sometimes.
I'm really looking forward to finding out how Wong is connected to this, because I feel like Wong is the one breaking.
And I feel like they would have, Yeah, but I think this might actually be the first breakout, and that would mean it's actually, more true to being very recent, as in it's happening right now. Because they would have surely noticed he wasn't there. Granted, he has a wizard on his side.
Yeah, like
they can just go you see something different camera.
It's really fucking weird. If anything was up, surely they'd give a shit. But no, like I thought there'd be a guy in the room at least.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, or the camera. Like, honestly, I have a feeling either they were trying to keep it quiet, but surely they wouldn't put him up for a chance of parole.
Well, first of all, that's a ridiculous sentence. Secondly,
to fight wizards.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Well, you could say, like, Abomination.
The other thing I want to say, maybe the guards get a piece of
that. Is such
maybe
a beautiful.
Wong
I love that MCU's at this stage. You know. Maybe, but those guards seemed very strict. Like they got guards that are like, no, you can't change into this form.
Well, and
don't make jokes. This is not Silence
in all fairness,
they were very
that could be just
to the point. I don't think the guards
who's
either not aware
the other guy who's in the room with her. Like whenever it's his shift, Wong just shows up and he's like, "You mind if I take the big guy?" I mean, he didn't say anything. I don't think he had
but here's the thing: he was quite stiff as well because he wasn't taking any of our jokes either. So, no, he did say because she starts going like, "Oh, it's like Silence of the Lambs."
Fair enough.
This is a high security prison. And he was like, he wasn't joking around with her. You know, so I think I have a feeling that this is the first time he was taken out to fight, which is weird again because it makes you think. Did Chang-Chi just arrive there 1 minute and say, "Hey, want to go to a fight club?" Well, I don't know you, but okay, let's go. You know, like,
are you talking about Wong?
Why did Chang-Chi go to Abomination in the first place? Like, did he want some money
yeah,
like ice cream? Yeah, Wong. Sorry, Wong.
Well,
yeah, sorry. Like,
Emil
there's a big
does
quick
say
turnover. Like,
that he has multiple pen pals.
Like, why did Wong go there?
He also. Wong is the next.
Unless there's something new of Wong that I'm not aware of, and maybe there is, and we should appreciate diversity in MCU. Yeah, I don't know. I think it might be the first time.
Yeah,
and I don't know why Wong is there, but I'm sure we'll find out next episode, which is fun.
I'm looking forward to what comes up. Like I said, I wanted a legal show about superheroes, and nice. So far I'm getting a legal show about superheroes. The first episode is mostly a training arc, and the second episode is more of what I wanted, legal stuff. So I'm looking forward to them doing more of that. I look forward to her visiting the prison and just going, "What the hell were you thinking? You broke out of prison to go to Fight Club?" Who is this clip?
Yeah.
It's like, no, that guy's got fins for ears. I didn't have fins for ears
right
when
here,
I transformed. Transform right now. I need to see. Transform right now. I'm looking forward to it.
It's like talking to a dog. Open your mouth. What do you have in your mouth?
Is it confirmed he's the next episode for sure?
Yeah,
I mean, I
feel like next episode he goes to the firm and all this kind of stuff. And
oh, is it? Okay,
it's in the next episode, like scenes we've seen. Yeah. So he's gonna show up for that.
We did, yeah.
Cool.
Not this episode, but
see a transformation of Abomination in his cell. So that's interesting as well. Yeah, in future stuff. But yeah, so that's it. What did everyone else think of She-Hulk? Are you enjoying the show? Is there something missing for you?
I think that's it for me as well. There's not much more to say. It's the episodes are a lot shorter than usual for the MCU.
For me.
And I am perfectly fine with that. Not only does it leave me wanting more, but also I can take the time to sit down and digest it.
Leaves me like wanting more.
Whereas, and I love the hour-long ones, or the close to hour-long ones at least. But they can be a bit harder to fit into a schedule than a nice compact 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's it for me.
Absolutely. But anyway, that's it from me. And folks, we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Look after each other and, enjoy She-Hulk or not. Bye.
Asherlow. It's a big rant.